Hey guys, Fernando from Fixipedia, and today I've got in my opinion, a really simple fix. We've got an Asus X54H, and I think it's simple because normally what happens is with the jack inserted into the laptop, over some time the jack starts to the central pin starts to break, and the symptoms will be the client will say that the battery stops charging, laptop doesn't turn on. And the way I test it is, first you take out the battery. So if it's the jack or the charger, I would test with the charger that you know it's okay first, just to be sure. So the way I take out the battery, so that way if you put in the charger and you turn on the laptop, first of all it's not turning on, and that's probably because the central pin is not doing any contact. So you have to try and bend it like a few ways. Okay, so I'm bending it this way and it's gonna turn on. Hopefully. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's give this a little. Yeah, there you go. Okay, as you can see it turns on. Now if I let go, it's gonna switch off. So almost 100% sure that it's going to be the DC jack inside, and I'm just going to show you how to disassemble the laptop, repair it, and test it. Okay, see you in a while. Something that I sometimes use when these screws don't come out is a magnetizer. I've got this little, it magnetizes and demagnetizes your screwdrivers. You just pass it along like that. Okay, so it's probably stuck, so I need something a little bit more, either a little bit more magnetized or, okay, there you go. Sometimes they get stuck. If you like the screwdriver, I normally have a link in the description. This is a real time saver. I mean, the time that I have saved by using the screwdriver is amazing. Not only that, you're gonna save your wrist from trying to unscrew so many screws on our laptop. So this is cheap. I think this is 20 something US dollars or something like that. I'll leave the link below. Sometimes you might have to buy a few of these. The edge comes out pretty easily, but these sometimes, the ones that normally come with the screws are sort of universal for laptops. They have a big range in terms of the type of screw that you can use it on. But you can buy them apart as well. Okay, so always be careful taking out these ribbons. You don't want to break anyone. Double check to see if there's no more screws. Okay, I think we're golden over there. Yeah. Always check over here below the DVD writer. There's normally 2 or 3 screws depending on the model. Check here to see if there's nothing below, nothing in the middle. Okay, so I'm feeling some resistance here, so there's probably something below here. Let me just take out this sticker. No, there's nothing there. I opened a lot of laptops like this. Never saw this type of stick on here, and I think this was put in by someone else, because normally it doesn't have this type of glue either, so that's why the keyboard was a little loose. Okay, so I'm gonna guess something that I'm not seeing here, which is not normal. Okay, I think I see what happened. Someone put a little bit more sticker on the side. That's why it was having some resistance. Okay, so this is out. Let's get a little sticker here. Always be careful on this. Try and push it at the same time on both sides so you don't mess up the wiring. Okay, so let me see. There's no more screws over here. I do recommend that you take out the fan first, so you don't have to. Yeah, in this case it's actually built-in, so yeah, you have to really take it out. Okay, so let me see. He's got a pen over here. Forgot to check that. Okay, below we still got this one. It's the one I always forget about, this guy. And I always forget it as well when I'm assembling it. So sometimes what I do is I grab a little bit of tape when I remember, and I put it like so. So then when I assemble it, I see that it's outside and I put it back in. Because it's a pain in the butt to assemble everything, have it all working, and then you have the client come back because there's no sound. And what did you forget? You forgot to connect the speakers. I mean, happened lots of times, I have to admit. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this out, a little bit dusty. That's something that I always do on every laptop that I open. I always clean the chassis inside. I always clean the motherboard. I always take out the fan, clean it out, clean out the heatsink. This one's not that bad, but I'll clean it anyway. I'll change the thermal pastes. And this is what I call a preventive repair. So if you can get the client happy for a few more years, I mean, you're gonna just earn more and more clients. And at least for me, it's been working. I like to do every repair as if I was repairing it for myself. And if you try to have always that mindset, you're gonna have a lot of happy clients, because you're always gonna have a good repair. And if something fails, I mean, come on, I'm sure the client will understand. So let me see. Okay, I see what the problem is. This has been repaired. The client did tell me that this went to another store a few months back, and now you can see, instead of them trying to instead of them changing the DC jack, what they did was they tried and put solder on this central pin that normally breaks. It will break right about here, and they put solder. What happens is solder is weak. I mean, it's much weaker than the central pin that comes in this machine, so it's gonna break easier. I mean, come on, the jack is pretty... This is cheap. All you have to do is just change it, and it's probably weak solder anyway. Okay, so see what the problem is here, and I'll just grab another jack. Let me just see if I've got a jack to show you. So this is the new jack, as you can see, exactly the same. And what happens is this little central pin normally breaks right about here. It cracks. So that's what they did. They tried and solder it. Okay, I'm just gonna change this and we should be good to go. Okay, so normally what you're gonna need is a lot of flux, some solder, soldering iron. What you're gonna do is put some flux on those contacts. Give it some extra solder so it's easier to melt. So it's not hot enough. Okay. And some solder wick so you can take out the solder, the old solder. You don't have to be that careful, since this is the jack that you're going to be removing. You don't have to salvage it. If I see that I'm having some difficulty in taking this out, I will use the heat gun, heat it all around, and easier to remove. dia. Okay, so as you can see, this was the pin that I was saying, the central pin, that was broken, and I tried to solder it on. So now all you have to do is clean this up with a few cotton swabs and some isopropylic alcohol. Get this all clean. What I usually do is I use a few just to clean the biggest parts that are more dirty. Then I'll clean it again with a new cotton swab. I don't know why, but today was I did a messier job than usual. And I see that the guy that's tried to fix this before heated it up a little more than it should be. And I can see it's got some damage here on this. But I think there's enough trace for me to solder on the new one. So okay, so let me just test out the new one. Goes in pretty well, fits in nice. Okay, so now what I usually do, since I'm soldering this by myself, I like to use a pair of pliers beneath the jack, get it to the height that I want to. Yeah, okay, so get it like this, put in some flux, here. Okay. Just gonna put in some flux with my tweezers here in the middle because it's a harder place to get to. Okay, so this is enough. What I like to do in this case, so I'm just going to put in a little bit more solder, flux over here. Just give it a little bit more solder. Because this side over here is holding both of these connectors. Just a little bit more on this one. Wasn't quite there yet. Just some on the center. Nothing special, just enough for it to not have any gaps. Okay, like that. That's perfect. Okay. Looking at this and I'm thinking, let's see if I can focus. Yeah, check that out. Okay, look at that. I'm going to clean it now for you to see. Okay, so I've put it all up together. It doesn't have any battery installed, so I can test it. Gonna put in the DC jack, turn it on, turns on straight away, goes right to BIOS, and if you try and move the jack, I'm not going to do a lot of force because it's not necessary and it will end up damaging the pin, but just for testing sake it doesn't turn on, so that was a problem. Simple problem, easy solution if you have the tools, of course, and I'll link in everything that I used down below. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye bye.